God, of course he's aging like fine wine. And I'm a sommelier. Welcome to Something Feral, the podcast where three friends watch, eat, and talk trash. We're your hosts. I'm Kate.
I'm Brianna.
And I am Black Lung Blaze today.
Not the black lung.
Yeah, well, that's smoke. I was outside all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yikes.
And I shouldn't probably be drinking this, but I don't care.
You know what? It'll kill the germs.
Yeah. That's how germs
It's
work.
for health.
Yeah.
Yeah, germs. Ah.
Hoi, hoi.
Hoi, hoi, hoi. Not a fan. See, it's weird. You know what I mean?
It's tangy.
Yeah, it's really bizarre, but I don't hate it.
It's not the worst.
But it's not great, but it's not bad.
It's not that gay wine.
No, nothing's the gay wine.
It's okay. It's digestible.
It's drinkable. It's an easy beverage. Like,
I still appreciate it being here.
yeah, with like an ice cube on a hot day. Like if this was a sweaty glass outside, it would taste better. You know what I mean? Like on a hot day.
But I think like every drink would taste better in that scenario.
Or if it was colder.
Yeah, we're in a weird middle ground.
Well, cheers to that.
Toughest battles, strongest soldiers.
Truly.
It's the aftertaste that's weird. The taste is good. The aftertaste is odd.
It is odd.
But what is it? It's like brassy.
May I?
Metallic. I don't know.
I don't know that it's the
That's not
aftertaste.
right.
Yeah, because like the first, if you take a little sip, it's really nice. Then if you take like a true drink, it's like, but it's not like,
I don't know.
Oh.
you see what I mean? The mouthfeel is off.
I was just going to say the mouth. It's like very, it's also like right at the roof of my mouth, but nowhere
Yes.
else.
Yeah, it's like in the back of like the roof of your mouth.
I will say the aftertaste resolves into something nice.
Yeah, but for a moment there, it's very odd.
Yeah. Something Feral podcast is now becoming, we're all getting certified as sommeliers.
Ugh, the dream.
Except you and I will have 2 glasses of me throwing up.
Well,
Correct, right.
You don't just
we
like
spit it
guzzle
out.
it. You spit it out.
We
Yeah.
get to spit it out.
It has to stick. You have to learn. You can't just be like drunk when you're learning.
I didn't know you were supposed to spit it out.
That's why they have buckets at wineries.
Ew.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
You
gross.
taste it and just
Ew.
spit in a bucket.
That's foul.
I've never been like to a true winery tasting where it's like that level that you get like so much that you're like,
I haven't either, but my dad obviously is a big wine person. So I just know a lot about wine from that.
Officer Brianna. I'm Brigadier Blaze. Officer Brianna.
yeah, Cadet Kelly, obviously.
Oh, hell yeah.
Gotta
Nice.
be. Anyway,
Okay. I'm going to share a mini feral behavior. This is not necessarily a feral behavior done by me, but I experienced the outcome of said feral behavior. Dale and I were invited to a New Year's Eve wedding. I will say I'm usually not a fan of like a New Year's Eve wedding, but they had like this really cool hotel that it was in. So like we could get a room for the night. We didn't have to go home. They did do the wedding later in the evening so that like the New Year's Eve was
a
like at the
party.
party. Like they really did it as best you can.
Dr. Panda's having a New Year's Eve wedding.
Yeah, like it, sometimes I feel like you can really screw that up and sometimes you can really do it well. And I
agree.
think this one they did well. So we went up, it was up in Wisconsin. So we were living in Chicago at the time. So we drove up and we checked into this room. We got a really nice room specifically because it was New Year's Eve. We wanted to have kind of a good time. And I will say they had the most incredible shower room with like a standing tub in the shower room.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was incredible.
And those were like not as trendy back then either. They're kind of
Correct.
trendy
No,
now.
this
but,
was like
novel.
this was ahead, yeah. So we get there and we start like unloading our stuff. And first thing we find in the hotel room is we open the drawer and there's like a few pairs of socks. And we're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like obviously they didn't do a very good job cleaning the room. So we didn't think anything of it. We just kind of called it a day. And then we're just like looking around, and this was the type of, again, a very like boutique-y hotel. And so their like mini bar, quote unquote, was really just more like a tray with some snacks. Nothing fancy, but there was a little tin on the mini bar. And this tin was a pleasure tin, which I'd never seen before, but essentially, you read it, it's like a little kit and it's like,
Even Vegas hotels.
yeah, there's like a condom, there was like some lube, there was a couple other little like spicy items, right? Well, for
Was
whatever,
it like the hotel put
Yes.
it there or like the wedding?
no, the hotel put it there.
Okay.
It was part of like the hotel's offering.
It was the wedding.
What a
like,
move as like the gift bag.
That's what I was thinking. Like, was that the gift bag?
No, this was part of the hotel. But I like grabbed it and I opened it because it wasn't sealed. So I just kind of thought, oh, I want to see what's in here, right? Turns out they typically are sealed.
No. Oh, I'm gonna barf. Is this going where I think it is?
It is going exactly where you think it is.
No.
It was, I will only use this word. It was used.
Oh.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't even imagine how gross that must have been. Oh.
What was used? Tell us. What was in the tin?
There were some wet items on the tin, is all I am comfortable saying out loud.
No. They put it back in the tin?
They put it back in the tin because they didn't, whoever, like, so what they,
Why?
well,
Yeah,
part of it, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, they had like a little vibrator, like a little massager in there. And so the massager was put back and like clearly used. And like the lube was open. The whole thing was like lubey. It was just I was like, ah! I like screamed.
Yeah, run to the bathroom and wash your
Yeah.
hands.
So are those tins designed that the customer just takes it?
Yeah.
They don't
Correct.
put
You
it back-
keep them.
You keep
Yeah,
it. Yeah, you keep
okay.
it. But like, I'm sure they just didn't want to get charged for it. So I'm like, Dale, you have to tell them
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is not okay. Like, I know that,
We want a new tin.
Yeah.
no.
I want to not touch this one and bring a new one.
Well, and
bring
it
two.
was like that plus the socks. I was like, did they even clean this room?
Yeah.
Like, how good of a job did they clean this room if like,
that room just might not have been cleaned.
correct.
What was in the socks? Hopefully nothing.
So Dale goes down and is like, hey, and he, of course, Dale is not the type of person that feels like comfortable going downstairs and being like, the sex tin's open. You know what I mean? Like, so he goes down all awkwardly and is like, so there was an item that was used in the tin, and the guy's face just went,
It's the worst thing that
it's
could
the
happen.
worst thing that could happen. And he's like, I am so sorry. We'll bring one up right away. And Dale's like, no, that's not really the point. Like, we're good. Just,
I don't want any tin from this place.
we just wanted to let you guys know that like that happened, and to make, and the socks were left and et cetera.
Can you come clean the fluids?
Right. So they came back and they did like a clean of the room because we wanted that room in particular because of that fucking bathtub.
Yeah, you had a good room.
Because otherwise I would have just switched rooms. But I was like, no, I want this bathtub room. And I will say, about 20 minutes before the wedding, we had to like go down for the ceremony. The hotel did bring up this incredible charcuterie board and a full fucking bottle of wine as an apology.
I was gonna ask. I feel like that's like very.
They did send like a worse, like, please don't fucking write a review, right? About this. So the hotel did like do what they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, long story short, the feral behavior was somebody used the sex tin.
Honestly, good feral. Good for them.
But bad feral.
Take it home.
Take it home.
Yeah, no, bad on whoever didn't take care of it.
Right. Yeah.
Or,
And-
yeah, I guess if they like put it back and acted like they didn't
well,
use
they
it, that's
they
like
put
really
it all
gross.
back and like closed the tin and put it back on the minibar.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's
concerned
bad.
about is that they like either one didn't want to get charged for it bad, but two they just like thought that it was supposed to be put back is
Either
even
way.
stupider.
Or they were gonna like toss it and didn't. But it sounds like it was meticulously put back.
There's just the communal tin. That is worse to me that they
Yeah.
might have thought that.
That is actually
That is stupid.
jarring. Yeah.
There is no good option here, right? Like no one did this by mistake.
The only thing I would think is like, yeah, if you put everything back and you were just gonna like toss it and then you just like forgot. But you said it was put back like in the very specific place.
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
From what I remember, Dale and I both felt that it was an intentional
Oh,
placement
that is so disgusting.
based on what I
That
you
is
know,
so disgusting.
remember.
And like an egregious act to your like fellow man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you knew someone would eventually open that.
PSA, everybody, if you use a tin, you can't put it back.
Oh,
Where was this hotel? What state?
Milwaukee.
Oh, okay, Milwaukee with the special tins.
Yeah, no, it wasn't some like,
like Vegas where they're every hotel.
like a slutty city.
A slutty city. I feel like
Random.
Milwaukee's one of the sluttier cities in Wisconsin. This is a term of endearment.
Yeah,
like
yes.
you want to live in a slutty city.
Yeah, obviously.
Slutty tins.
Slutty tins. So we'll go ahead and move on to trash and treasure.
I have a treasure, and it is. Are you fans of Nathan Fielder?
I know who that is. I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Okay.
Just meaning like I'm not as familiar with his work.
I don't know him.
Okay, he is definitely not for everyone. I think you guys would like him. So he has a couple shows, but most recently he has one called The Rehearsal, and season 2 came out on HBO, and I laughed so hard at seasons 1 and 2 of this show, harder, and I mean this literally. I laughed harder in episodes of that show than I've ever laughed at TV before. It was
What's it about?
so it's called The Rehearsal.
It's like a sketch show, right?
Kind of, yeah. And he sets up like basically like scenarios for people to rehearse things, to try them out before they make like a big decision or do something big or like confess something. But he doesn't just have them like run through it like the way I would ask you to like, what are you going to say to her? Like, and you would say, he like has an HBO budget. So he like builds the bar where like the friend, he builds like an exact replica of like a bar where like the guy and his friends go on Fridays when he's going to like tell his friends something. And like, there's one where like this woman she's like thinking if she wants to have kids. So he stages an entire simulation of like parenting, but like there's child actor laws. So they have to like swap out the kids, and like he rehearses the seasons. Like it's a sped up process so they can like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, but basically that's the long and short of it. Like he builds entire worlds so people can like practice things, I guess.
And it just ends up in comedy.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it any justice. Like, and the second season, I don't want to give anything away, but like it involves aviation safety.
Oh, it was all over the news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time you think he is taking something so far, you're like, what could he can't go any further than this. You're wrong. You were so wrong. And he takes it 1,000 miles further. Like I was crying, like sobbing, gasping for breaths, laughing in season 2 in certain episodes. Like,
Okay.
it is very weird. It is very
niche.
Yeah, he's one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I love him so much. He's like the funniest person to me. And, you know, one, Nathan, if you're listening, I love you. And two, anything he does. He has a show called Nathan For You, which is like shorter, and you don't have to watch like, in the rehearsal it builds, right? Like you have to watch episode to episode. Nathan For You is just like wild, unhinged scenarios.
Nice.
But
Is
anyway,
he like a comedian?
yes, he's very funny, but he's very, very dry.
I like that.
Yeah, I think you'll like him. He's a weirdo in the best way.
He's feral.
He is the most feral, but like meticulously feral.
Love that.
I will like him. He is like me.
I love him.
You are one of a kind, Blaze.
Same energy.
You. Where can we watch this show?
HBO.
Oh, duh. HBO Buzz It. Buzz It?
Buzz
Budget.
it.
Uh-oh.
You're not even ready.
No.
Oh, no.
Do we have a
No.
visitor?
Jasper's here.
Oh, is that company I hear?
I thought he was desecrated, but here he stands.
He just will not die.
Jasper, could you at least tell us about your trash?
Oh no, I do not like to speak of such distasteful matters.
The
I'll
television.
keep my opinions to myself. But anyway, love Nathan Fielder.
I can share a treasure, yeah. So I have 2 quick ones. One's a product, one's a hack. So the first thing, I read somewhere that if you have like a bug bite, to put a pimple patch on it. And I had one on my hand today that was just driving me up a wall because it was like every time I moved my thumb, it itched.
Ooh.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking try it. It worked like a charm. It's obviously not practical from a cost perspective. Like you can't put an expensive pimple patch on every single one. But if you are in a bind or you have one in a really weird spot, highly recommend putting a pimple patch on a mosquito bite or a bug bite.
Huh, good
So
to know.
don't know the science behind it. I saw it somewhere. Highly recommend. And then my real treasure is the things I'm sitting on. I am sitting on an old lady cushion and a lumbar support pillow. They're from Cushion Lab.
It kind of looks like a car seat.
Yeah,
It
it does look like a car seat. They come in a million colors.
Oh, you can pick a color.
Yeah.
And you got beige?
Well, because I wanted it to match my
Wow.
chair. I wanted it to match my chair in my office.
Sad
But you can
beige
get like
millennial.
bright pink.
Oh.
You can get bright like pink. Did I say pink?
You get
twice?
pink. You can get pink. You
Yeah.
can get bright pink.
You can get pink, you can get green, blue, like every single color under the sun. They also come in like different fabrics. But if you have like back problems or struggle to sit in a chair, highly recommend this for, especially like for those of us that sit in an office all day. Could not recommend more highly. So much so I bought my dad some for Father's Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Good
So
to know.
I purchased from them twice now in a week.
Did you get him pink?
No, I got him
Bright pink, the only other color besides beige.
I think I got him beige.
Yeah, that feels right.
Yeah.
Sad beige.
For dad, you know what I mean?
Sad beige dad.
Sad beige dad. My ass has never felt better.
Good for you.
I think it's time for some more wine. Where's my gay wine?
I will pour you a glass.
Where's my
lady.
straight wine?
You stay seated right there.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that pour. My.
The lady wants. The lady shall have.
I'm being served well today. Look at this.
Anything for my beautiful lady.
Officer Brianna, is this a great pour for me?
That is a double pour.
It's a country club pour. Calm down.
You're trash, milady?
Okay, I need to preface this actually by saying, like, this is not in any way any sort of commentary on law enforcement or my opinions on law enforcement. That is a separate pod.
Get ready, officer.
Yeah, no, this is not any, like, statement about policing or anything like that, but, like, merely and purely the verbiage and the sign. Every once in a while, like, going for a walk, there are signs that people have, and they say, "We love and respect our police department."
Oh, yeah.
And I just think that is the doofiest sign a person can have, because like if you love cops so much that you want to put a sign in your yard, like, Back the Blue has existed like forever.
Yeah.
Like, that has always been around. Like, you can find that stuff. And they were, like, very reactionary, to be clear, but, like, that was the best you could do. We love and respect our police department. It just, you know what, to me it gives, what bothers me so much about it is, like, there's nothing clever about it. There's nothing, like, you know, like, even ones in the wake of, like, something hard or heavy, like, there's some sort of, like,
It's giving teacher's pet.
yes, you know what it's giving? It's giving, like, what's that, officer? Someone complained about loud music and the smell of marijuana? Like, it's not our household. We love and respect our police department. Like, it's a little bootlickery, which is, like, fitting because it's like the people who are putting out signs for cops. But, like, you just couldn't go, like, a touch more clever. Like, we love and respect our police department. Like,
Boring.
it's giving narc. Yeah, it's giving narc.
That person calls the police.
Yeah, that's why they put out the sign. And
Yeah.
plot twist, the cops hate those people.
They do. They, like, so they have a bunch in, like, my little village that I live in.
Ugh.
Right?
My little village.
My little village. But, like, what is happening in our... Those cops aren't responding to anything really serious.
Actually, that's not
No,
true.
that's not
I had a
true.
stalker that lived 2 houses down. This is kind of like a mini feral behavior. He would, like, pretend
Bad
to mow the
feral.
lawn. It was on. The lawnmower was on. And he would just drive it up and down the sidewalk, looking in my window. I think I was actually living in the house alone at the time. So I had to call the police, and I had to file a report. And I was like, you know what? That's some shit. That guy was the one calling the police all the time and on the scanners.
And he would have one of those signs for
Yes.
sure.
Oh my God. He was on a list. The detective calls me, like, personally on my phone. He was like, this guy is a serious problem. Like,
Yeah, a menace.
if anything happens, call me. This is my personal phone number.
Aw.
Detective. Yeah.
I will say our, like...
He was in that village.
Yeah, like, my police department is, like, very well funded.
Yeah.
They sent me a hot cop, by the way. He was young. And he would drive by, like, every once in a while and be like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah,
You're like,
officer.
I don't know. I kind of want to talk about something.
I'm a
When
little
we
bit
called about
scared,
a gas leak in our house, 4 cops showed up and
Yeah.
like searched our entire house for 2 hours.
Yeah, they got nothing to do usually.
Yeah, and you know what? I love and respect those police officers.
Brianna has that sign in her lawn.
She's like texting Dill. She's like,
Get that sign away.
Put it away.
But I am not putting that sign in my front yard.
No. And like,
I can show support for like good cops and in so many other ways.
yeah, we pay taxes. You know, you're polite to them when they show
Right.
up when you need them. Like,
Yeah.
great, that's fine.
That's it.
You
Yeah.
don't need a sign.
Nope.
And again, like the fact that there's nothing clever about it. It was just like, we love and respect our police. Like, okay.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
We love hot cops would have been way better.
Oh, I'd put that sign in my yard.
Hell yeah. The village has some hot cops.
Yeah, the village
And
does have
look,
some hot
I am
cops.
not into law enforcement officers in that
But
way.
the village had some hot
But there
cops.
was one officer, sergeant, that
We've talked about him on the pod, haven't we?
have we?
I don't
We
know.
know we would never drop his name. That would be cruel.
We couldn't drop his name.
He was tortured enough.
He was like basically sexually harassed at our high school for being so
Yeah, they put
good-looking.
the hottest police officers you've ever seen at a high school. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they introduced him at the assembly, everyone cheered. The girls and some of the guys cheered.
cheered. You know, and he was good. He was good at his job.
He was good at his job. He was a nice looking man.
Nothing bad ever happened then with him
No.
there.
If
No.
he was the only police officer, I would put that sign in my yard.
the world's only cop.
World's only cop. Love and respect
You're
you.
like, I love and respect our police department, Sergeant.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Dale.
Oh man. Yeah. And I feel like, again, I am not That's not my type. Let's say
It can't be.
No. That would be bad. But like that man was a good-looking man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying whoever they sent to my house with that stalker.
There are a few hot
Congratulations.
cops.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, when I was moving into the other house we lived in together,
One street over.
yeah, I was driving to the house and I see him get out of the police car with a shotgun. I'm like, what's going on?
I know what
here?
house you're talking about.
Yeah, it
By
was a
the
domestic-
school.
Yeah, it was a domestic violence situation, and I go, like, hey,
You're like, hi.
he's like, oh hey,
He's
with
like
a shotgun.
very busy.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That is so funny because that timing aligns perfectly. We work pretty close to where we live. And so Dale, I was like, hey, it's a really beautiful day. Like, why don't you walk home? He's like, yeah, that is a great idea. I'm going to walk home from the office. And that domestic violence suspect was dressed exactly like Dale was that day. And Dale was walking home to our neighborhood.
I remember you said this and he got like stopped.
He got stopped and they like pulled out, like they had the lights on him. They had like the whole thing.
God, I
and like
forgot
they,
about that.
because they were like, you look just like he had the same exact description as the suspect.
I remember that.
Wow.
And Dale was like, what's happening? And he was walking, which makes sense. Like, why is this
The guy left. Yeah.
So Dale got pulled over for that dispute.
I bet it was the same couple.
It
They
might
were a
not have been the
menace.
same day though. I mean,
That timing aligns.
I know what house you're talking about, and that was
It was on the same street as our street.
yes, it was.
A lot of going on this particular street
Yeah.
in the village.
But that was also not the first time that
no.
a call had been made.
It was the middle of the day. He was very calm. That's why he's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like,
holding the shotgun.
he's like, I have a shotgun. He's like,
Oh my
what's
God.
up? I'm like, you good?
You're like, what's up with me? What's up with you?
Are you
What-
okay? He's like, I'm just moving. Are you good?
Yeah.
And my ex was with me at the time, and he's like, you know that guy? I'm like, yeah.
You're like,
stops
I
by
sure
every
do.
once in a while.
Oh man.
That man was on the next door all the time. I have screenshots
like
of
my
him
God.
posting or
threads.
people posting
Him
him.
posting.
He was so active.
Yes, about police work. Like he was on the scanners. He would like just post about like what the police was doing.
Yeah, and like not a cop. He never went to work. I don't know if he had a job. I don't know
No.
what his deal was.
I don't know either. I think he must have had someone paying for his home.
I think he had probably like rich parents or
You
something.
know that
yeah.
movie Disturbia? That's what I
Oh.
was getting. Like his garage was too clean.
Oh, that's
Way too
sterile.
clean. And it was green.
And it was turquoise. It was
Yeah.
sterile and like bright turquoise.
so scary. But that garage reminded me of this neighbor's garage. It looked the same. He never parked a car in it.
Never.
And it was always clean.
And there was nothing in it ever except a few yard signs from a certain political candidate. I bet you can guess which one he liked.
Yeah.
And we know, not we were like looking in his garage, he'd like have it
It was
open.
always open.
Yeah, but not with anything in it.
Nope. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just turquoise and sterile.
Yeah.
I do not like this. Does he still live there?
I don't think so.
Okay, because we walk around there quite
I hope
often.
not.
My cousin lives in that house, and we did tell her about this neighbor, and I don't think he lives there anymore, but
Oh, good
I'm not
for her.
sure. She never bothered her, apparently. Just me.
You're a special gal.
Yeah. And I think by the time
No one's like Blaze.
I moved in, like he knew like the cops were onto him, I think. Because we'd see him once in a while, but he never did anything like
When I called the cops, he stopped with his bullshit.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh shit, like these bitches see me. And he never did anything again because that hot cop came and he said,
put the fear of God in him.
he would drive down the street like every day, like
That
real
is
slow.
The village, that's like one thing they're really good for.
Patrol.
Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just there are better ways, and the signs ain't it.
That's fair. All right, we will be diving into a letter for Dumpster Dive today. This one is not raunchy, so you're welcome.
Wow, so
But it is
generous.
long and in purple pen, so that's your
Oh my
punishment.
gosh.
And it is vindication for the
For
receiver
Edward.
of
Yeah,
the letter.
for Edward.
Because Kate and I have a theory that he did write back, but
Yeah.
there's just no evidence to prove it.
He's very much the hero of his own story when he talks about it. Okay, Edward. Hey, Kaido. It was supposed to be kiddo, but it was spelled wrong. Well, why can't you ever write me back? You're acting really weird lately. Okay, what's up with that? It's weird now. Oh, guess what? My stalker thinks that he has a chance with me again. He calls me and stuff like that, and all that is ever really wanted from him was help with my back handspring. Whenever he calls, he'll start talking about something, and I'll change the subject to something about cheerleading. I want to tell him, dude, all that I talk to you for is because I need your help with cheerleading. but I can't say that because that's really mean. But I want to, so he'll get off my balls. Seriously, he's such a jerk. He'll be all like, hey, sexy, it's good to hear your voice. No, that makes me so damn uncomfortable. And I tell him to shut the hell up in a serious voice, not laughing. So when are you going to respond to my previous letter? Have Alice and Andrew set a date yet, or have they not thought about it? I went through your yard yesterday, so those tracks are mine.
Whoa. That's some Edward energy.
Let me read these two sentences back to back. I went through your yard yesterday, so those tracks are mine. My uncle was so damn drunk, it was unreal. He started drinking at 10:30 in the morning, and he was drunk by noon. He drank all day and night. I told him to shut the hell up every time he started talking too much. He's such an ass. I'm like so mad. I cannot find my watch. I'm pissed. My throat hurts from sucking my snot down my throat the whole time last night. It was fun as hell. Do you have a problem with me, like talking to you and stuff and like trying to make things kind of work? Everyone tells me that me and you need to get back together because we were so awesome together. But you act like that's never going to happen. So, it was a frowny face.
No, I like that. That was perfect.
I'm as stressed and depressed lately. It's killing me inside. Everything is killing me. It feels like everything in my life is going down the drain. I'm just really, really hurt right now. I'm not healing very well at all. I gotta fly. Love you. Bye. Right back. Peace. Love always. Bella.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy indeed.
That was a wild
journey.
ride. My favorite is she's like, oh my God, my stalker. I have a stalker. I don't think she has a stalker.
No, she loves the attention this guy is giving her. Marissa Cooper.
Yep.
He's so weird and so annoying.
I hate it.
I just need him for cheerleading.
I just need him to help me with this very physical task.
Oh my God, he's so annoying.
The uncle, I can't get away from the drunk uncle driving through his yard.
Yeah.
Not great.
No, I don't think the drunk uncle went through the yard.
She went through the yard?
I think she went through the yard.
She said the tracks are mine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was such a swift transition.
My guess.
So she was driving around his yard.
No,
the drunk uncle
tracks,
separate.
Feet tracks.
Feet tracks.
Oh, I was picturing tire tracks.
No, I was picturing
like,
feet.
like
snow.
toes.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the date?
There is no date. She doesn't date them.
Oh,
We've
that's
talked about
inconvenient.
this. Yeah, I know. Come on, Bella. You should have thought about us.
Bella, go back and tell us what time of year this was and if they were tire tracks or foot tracks.
Maybe it was around Christmas time. Like drunk
There was
uncle.
Oh, maybe.
Snow.
Cheerleading, though. I guess basketball season.
I don't know.
Competition season. Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah, that's true.
We
It's
don't know.
really year round.
Cheer.
Wow.
You can be peppy all year round, Catherine.
You can smile, sparkle, shine all the time.
I hate it. Okay. Now, speaking
goes. She's
speaking
got
of
it.
Marissa Cooper.
I could have been a cheerleader, but I was a tomboy.
I think you would not have liked it.
I would have hated it. I
Yeah.
loved hockey back then. Like, I wanted to punch. I'm stuck in this accent again. I can't get out.
it.
Oh, no.
It does have a certain je ne
Nope.
sais quoi.
Okay, we need to be tight.
She's trying to silence us again, but it ain't
For
gonna
your
happen.
benefit.
Once again, a witch hunt.
Yeah, officers coming for what were the officers called in our time?
Oh, God. Slave catchers.
Ooh, blah, 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 blah.
Sheriffs.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
The job description was the same.
Fair.
Okay.
Sorry, that was too real. Too real.
Not funny, Jasper.
Let's jump into Orange County, California.
Yeah,
in
back to-
2000.
A different time and place.
Very.
One that Jasper knows nothing about.
And does not want to know at all.
All right, we are going to start with episode 17, which is called The Rivals. So I'm going to start with the synopsis, and let's see how bad this one is, because they've been on a streak lately of being pretty incoherent. Ryan grows more suspicious of Oliver and his intentions when he suddenly transfers to Harbor High and closes in on Marissa. His attempts to expose Oliver's true character causes backlash from everyone he is close with, except for one unexpected person, finding himself in an all too familiar position. Summer shows off her new boyfriend to Seth and Anna. Meanwhile, Sandy and Jimmy prepare to sign the lease papers for the Lighthouse restaurant, but Jimmy doesn't know if he's ready for his new business venture.
God.
Of course he's not.
Fam, are we doing Adults or teens?
This was a mostly teen episode.
Yeah,
Besides
very-
the Jimmy and the Sandy of it all. I guess we could start with that.
Do we just want? Yeah, I agree. I like doing the adults. Like I like doing the lighter ones first.
Yeah. Basically, Jimmy and Sandy get drunk in this bar that is closing, the Lighthouse. And they're like, we should buy this place. And they're like, ah, ha, ha, that's crazy. Let's do it. And then Sandy does it. And he's like, I'm buying the place. And Jimmy's like, oh my God, wait. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I can do it.
Literally after whining for an eternity about not having a job, he
Right.
gets an out, a chance to prove himself, and
He cries about it.
is a whiny bitch baby about it.
Yep.
He also, at some point, he is like, so I'd have to work for you? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, Jimmy. What
Yes.
the-
You're welcome.
You're fucking welcome.
A job. And ownership maybe a little bit. You're welcome.
Yeah. So, again, Jimmy Cooper being Jimmy Cooper. And that's about it, really.
That's about it. He spends the whole his parts of the episode whining about the opportunity that he's been given, handed on a silver platter.
By his free lawyer.
Right. Yeah. And the man
Whose
that-
wife he kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not forget.
Right.
Never.
So the other side of the adults is Kirsten and Julie. So Julie is dating Father Caleb and I guess decides that she wants to there's a design job available at Newport.
And she's good. We see her office.
Yep.
Kirsten's office. And she did a good job.
Yeah. But
She does fuck up the model home.
she fucks up.
yeah, she does.
So the
Yeah.
test was going to be this model home. She takes it very seriously. But when she's trying to convince Kirsten about it, she's like, I did a ton of design work before Marissa was born. And Kirsten's like, you were 18 when Marissa was born.
And she just is like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's.
But then my brain started sort of like turning about.
Dude, that was the note
that
I had.
was that the math you were doing? Because I was like,
Yep.
wait a minute.
Yeah, she's supposed to be 33 or 34 or 33 at the
Right.
youngest.
Julie's our age.
Julie's
We
our
are
age.
Julie Cooper's age.
We are Julie Cooper's age. Not even just that. So then when did Kirsten have Seth? Because Seth and Marissa are the same age.
Kirsten's older, though. Jimmy's older.
I thought they were all in the same high school class, no? Or like he was like a year older or something?
No, because Julie's from a different town. So Jimmy was like an adult who knocked up an 18-year-old.
I don't think so.
You think Jimmy's supposed to be our age, too?
I
And
think,
Kirsten's supposed to be our age and Sandy's supposed to be our age?
I think
Whoa,
so.
no,
that doesn't make sense, 'cause-
the dates aren't dating.
No, the dates are not dating.
Oh, there's a Reddit thread about this
Oh, really?
exact topic. I've always had questions about the Cohen family timeline. We know Julie is younger because she got pregnant with Marissa at 18, and Jimmy and Kirsten are the same age.
But that means Jimmy's older also.
She says that her and Sandy got married at 23. So then they're 5 years older. So a 23-year-old Jimmy got an 18-year-old Julie Cooper knocked up.
Doesn't that completely track?
Yeah, it
Doesn't
really
that
does.
completely track? A guy who's
Yeah.
graduated from college knocking up a teen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's so Jimmy Cooper.
I mean, he kissed the one he used to babysit in the previous episode.
Literally.
So,
Yeah.
Literally.
It does track.
Yeah. Wow.
Ugh.
Wait, really quick. This also, okay, I'm going to take this a step further.
Okay.
So, Jimmy Cooper, Sandy has said a couple times, like, he's a spoiled rich kid. He's a spoiled Newport kid. Like, we know what the, like, you know, median household income is in this community, and it's
Right.
fucking high. So, like, Jimmy was, like, a very wealthy kid. What if, but then he freaks out when he's like, I can't pay this back. Like, I can't pay it back. Like, what am I going to do? Sell the house? Like, I can't, blah, blah, blah. And then he yells at Sandy. He's like, you never had to provide for a family. You don't know what it's like to provide for a family. You don't know what it's like to have to like be the breadwinner. What if Jimmy Cooper's parents cut him off for knocking up a teen? And that's why he was so worried about money. And he's yelling at Sandy about, you don't know how to provide. It's like, well, if you're like this spoiled rich kid, like you have this big cushion. What if Jimmy Cooper's parents cut him off because he was a creep and knocked up a teen? And that's why he started going down this road, because he didn't have the support that he always thought he would have. It kind of makes sense. It makes sense.
I do not disagree with you, but that was so unhinged in the best way.
I don't think the writers thought of this, or like the producers. Like, this worked out for them by
that
like
was-
coincidence.
Also, that was totally an offhanded comment that they just like one writer like threw in to like give Kirsten a jab
they
at
just
Julie.
wanted to zing
That's
her,
it,
yeah. And they thought nothing of it. They thought it wouldn't come back to haunt them. Well,
20
guess
years
what?
later.
There are multiple Reddit threads, I'll have you know.
They didn't account for Reddit. There was no internet back then.
Not like there
really.
is now.
Okay, that's I think all we had for the adults this
Yep.
episode.
We're the same age as Julie Cooper, and Jimmy Cooper was disowned for being a creep. It honestly makes so much sense.
I think you're onto something here.
I think I'm totally right.
Now for the teens.
So the episode starts from a teen perspective with all of a sudden Oliver is transferred to Harbor.
Surprise.
Right. And
Shocking, yeah.
apparently Oliver, I don't remember who he says it to, but he says that this has been in the works for a while and that it just happened to come through, blah, 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 blah. And Ryan sort of questions him on it and is like, but aren't you a senior? And like, why Harbor? Da, 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 da.
He's asking all the questions.
Asking all the right questions.
The right questions that no one else seems to be asking at all,
one
ever.
cares.
Except Luke, weirdly.
Yeah.
His ally.
Yeah. So that's like obviously the shakeup for Ryan and Marissa is that Oliver has come to town. And then from a Summer and Seth perspective, Summer, Seth, and Anna, because she's still around.
God.
Anna and Seth are dealing with the backlash from last episode of Summer saying that they're too much alike, like brother and sister, and they're starting to notice it. They show up in the same outfit in this episode.
Multiple times.
No, again, it's just like a glitch. It's like Seth's brain like glitching.
He's
like
just dating himself.
Yeah, and he's starting to realize that he's dating himself and she's not real. That's why she's starting to look like him and getting mad at him.
They're also, Anna and Seth are like, are we boring? I'm like, you're 16. Why are you worrying about being boring in your relationship or like age? Like, oh,
Also,
are we,
yes.
like, not fun anymore? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You've been dating 3 weeks.
It doesn't make any sense because
But
she's
it's
not
teens.
real.
Yeah.
I am on to something with this show.
Yeah. And one of the other like, Ryan like catching Oliver on is he is obviously trying to get closer to Marissa. And one of the things that he's doing is like, oh, I need help with my French. And Ryan is immediately like, didn't you fucking live in France?
He's like, only for a year.
Right.
Oh, and he's like, social French and conjugating verbs like aren't the same. And I was like, right, but like it doesn't.
Yeah, he was like getting into clubs and conjugating the infinitive. Are
Yeah,
very
that's exactly
different.
the
I'm like,
line.
ooh. He had a comeback, I will say, but Ryan is correct.
He's so right.
Marissa wasn't asking those questions.
Marissa's just, yes, Marissa. Well, Marissa's not asking any questions.
She is not.
As we know. And Seth, I will say, he gets points for, in my book, for like how he talked to Ryan this particular episode. Because at this stage, obviously Oliver is nuts and Ryan spots it. But I can see where Seth is still like, hey, he's her friend. You need to embrace the friend.
And like you look like a jealous freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is fair.
That is fair. And I would say like,
But he does commit egregious crimes in this episode.
oh yeah, I
True.
mean, Ryan looks nuts in this episode.
He does, because there is no evidence that Oliver is nuts yet.
No, not to the public.
No.
Just him and Luke.
We've seen the crazy thing.
Right, but yeah,
Because
no
he's
one else.
only shown it to Ryan.
Right. So I will say, like, at this point, Seth does kind of have a point. And then we get into the speech. So we get to the Sandy speech of the episode.
What speech though? Because Sandy gives two.
Yeah, what's the speech?
Oh, this is about breaking into the school.
Yeah, because in the next one he gives a good speech
Yeah,
too.
Ryan
okay.
does break into the school in this episode because he's just like, there's something not right, and he breaks into the file cabinet at night of the school, and they play this great music again.
Yeah.
The music is great. Of course, he gets caught because Ryan always gets caught.
Yep.
So then Sandy is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, he gets, like, pulled into Dr. Kim's office.
Yeah, and then Ryan's just trying to explain himself, and everyone else making good points, which is making Ryan seem more crazy.
Yeah.
And they're basically throwing it back in his face that, like, we're giving this troubled teen a chance.
Like, who else
Which
do we
is-
do that
yeah,
with?
like, as we did you.
Which is
basically.
fair. And like he accessed like these confidential like medical records basically.
And what the thing was is that Oliver has slit his wrists
Mm-hmm.
because of a girl that he was stalking at a previous school. And that's
Right.
what Ryan finds out. And he's like, you guys, like, what the fuck? And they're kind of like, well, we're giving a troubled teen a chance, as we did you.
That show a lot of potential. Also,
They're like, yeah, and you were in jail.
he's like Conrad Hilton. So
Literally, yeah, he can go anywhere.
right? Like, they throw a couple 100,000 and he probably gets in.
Absolutely.
And it's so frustrating in this episode because, like, we know Ryan's correct, but, like, they are also making points. So, like,
There's nuance here because like also the way Ryan is handling things is still bad and wrong.
Correct. And that's where Sandy gives his speech.
Exactly.
Because he's like, you need to talk to us. Like, if you need something, like, you don't just, like, go do dumb shit. Like, I'm always fucking there for you.
Yeah.
And you can't, one of the things he says is, like, you can't mess up badly enough to not be in this family.
Oh yeah, and he's like, what did he say? That was we were like, ooh yeah, when he's like, you're gonna wish we'd kick you out or something. He was
like that. Yeah. Yeah, because like they're like, you can't mess up bad enough for us to like not
for
love
us
you.
to kick you out, but like
Yeah.
you're gonna wish, like you're gonna be in so much trouble, you're gonna wish we'd kick you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically the whole episode, like Oliver is kind of like needling, really ever so slightly Ryan. He says something like, "Oh, Marissa and I have all the same classes. Like that's crazy." And
Yeah,
just, like,
he's
these
really
little
poking
things.
Ryan.
Yeah, because he knows Ryan's gonna react, and of course he does.
Playing right into his hands. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he admits it. Like Oliver admits it to Ryan.
He admits that he's like going after Marissa, and Ryan's like, "What the fuck?" And he like punches him.
from me.
Yeah,
Because like
of course.
again, a loser moment.
Yeah.
Loses his mind at school and attacks a kid. Like again.
After he got caught stealing his records and stealing a letter out of Marissa's locker.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
That Oliver had put there. And it was basically Oliver confessing his love to Marissa, but
But it was to Natalie.
It was literally
Exactly.
the same as these letters. Remember,
Yeah.
there was that one that was like,
Oh, yeah.
she's like, this is for so and so.
We haven't read that one yet. I don't
No,
think.
I know, but we've talked about it. I think.
Yeah.
I don't even remember
Next
what's in
episode.
it. We'll see. Maybe not.
Yeah. And then before so yeah, he does that like, stay away from her. But there's also like Luke again is on Ryan's side and is he's like, that fucking kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
he's the only one that sees it.
yeah, he's
only
the
one.
only other one that sees it, which is also so funny because at this stage, it's like, wait, you also dated Marissa for like 6 years.
I think that's why he sees it.
That's why he
He's
gets it.
like,
That's what
the
it is.
Fuck
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
her problem with this guy? Like,
Right.
what's going on here?
Yeah. And then the episode ends in this fight where Ryan attacks Oliver. And of course, Oliver's laying on the ground and like smiling back at Ryan.
Oh, it's so
Right.
spooky.
Yeah. Also, we forgot to mention Marissa does find out because Dr. Kim talked to her. She finds out about Ryan lying about breaking into the records room as well as stealing the letter that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, like again, he's like breaking into school, breaking into her locker. Like, I think I would want to know.
Well, she breaks up with him.
Yeah.
So she breaks up with him at the end of this episode. She's like, you should do it.
I can't do this anymore.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Nothing's as good as Blaze's Anna.
No. And we'll get there next
Yeah.
episode.
Oh,
Slash Seth.
kill me.
Yeah.
Spare me this Anna bitch.
All right, so now we're going to go on to the next episode, which is episode 18. This one's actually, I think, a really good, it's called The Truth.
This one is
Ooh, this is a good one.
heavy hitter.
This is a heavy episode, but also great title for this episode in
It is
particular.
a good title.
All right. Caleb once again puts Kirsten in a difficult situation when he forces her to end his relationship with Julie. After yet another crisis with Ryan, Sandy and Kirsten question their decision to bring him into their home. Meanwhile, Ryan and Luke become allies in their quest to protect Marissa from Oliver. When Marissa discovers the truth about Oliver, a tense and dangerous confrontation occurs, and Ryan does everything in his power to protect her. So I have a couple notes on the synopsis. First of all, Sandy and Kirsten have one sentence conversation.
There's a remark. It's
There's
not
a remark.
discussion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's quickly shut down. It's like, did we really think this through? And it's like, no, we did the right thing. Like, it's
Yeah,
not like.
I feel like that's a really odd thing to put a whole sentence for in the synopsis.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to include more about the adults, but
Mistake.
Father Caleb gives us enough.
So the episode starts with, again, Sandy being, this is, I think, where he gives that.
Yeah, and Ryan's like, he's dangerous, he's bad, and Sandy's just like, it's not about what you think, it's about what you did.
It's because he's now committed a crime by stealing the records and punched Oliver
Yeah.
at this point. So he's looking pretty shit.
And he's like, they've decided to suspend him indefinitely until the board can review what's going on.
Reasonable.
So the only thing happening in this adult thing is Daddy Sandy. And then Father Caleb basically is like, oh, Kirsten, Julie is everywhere. She's at the office.
She's so annoying.
here.
Can you do something?
Can you just
Literally.
break up with her for me?
And Kirsten doesn't say no.
yeah.
Like, Kirsten.
That was a weird yeah. Yeah.
because this is like.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because
y'all.
Kirsten is not a good friend, and like she likes her dad and likes her life a lot more than she pretends not to, and she pretends he's inconvenient, but like she obviously does whatever he says. Like he says, break up with your friend, adult woman, and she says, Dad, I don't want to. Okay, and does it
Yeah.
in front of him. And like, you know what, Julie, who had gone in to like decorate her office and surprise her, literally was like, you know what? I deserve better from you and you.
Yeah, that
and I
was
was
a
like,
good
you know
line.
what? Good for her.
Yeah.
Julie was just trying to like spice up the office, like make it pretty, and she wanted like something to do and a job.
She's trying to provide for her family.
Trying to like work. That's all. Because, you know, her husband, Jimmy Cooper, wasn't doing shit.
And God knows he doesn't want to work.
Exactly. Somebody has to make the money, and she is working.
Yeah.
There's no mention of the restaurant this episode. This is a light Jimmy episode.
Yeah, he's really like not in it at all.
No,
had a break
but
from
I
that.
will say the tensions that occur, and we'll get there in a second, do happen on Julie's watch. Technically, this episode, not Jimmy's. So
yeah.
we will have to discuss that at some point.
That's true.
This is where Julie takes a turn.
Yeah, we'll get there.
She's not a hero for long.
No.
So the episode starts with Ryan being banished to the pool house, and then all of a sudden, this episode, every other person is
Starts to get it.
maybe like even Summer.
I always get that Summer always knew, but was just like annoyed by him and didn't see the crazy. She just saw that he liked her.
Yeah, but she like calls
Yeah, she's
Marissa
like,
out on it.
He thinks Oliver's in love with me.
And she's like,
well, yeah, isn't he?
Yeah, duh.
It was more like matter of fact, like, yeah, well, isn't he? Like, it's obvious.
And then
she was
Luke
like, what?
Yeah.
also does it. And like, and again, I'm like, Luke says it to Marissa too, which I think is a difference.
Well, the three of them were talking.
Yes.
And he kept asking Marissa things, and Oliver would answer. He's like, oh, am I talking to you or Oliver? Like,
Yeah.
you, like, what's going on here?
And then Oliver does this weird, like, I'm sorry. I
can
get
be
so
intense.
protective.
Ew, yeah. Honestly, Brianna, I thought of you in this episode because I felt like Luke and you were Ryan in this scenario because like that's how it always happens. Like Brianna always knows first that someone sucks and
Yep.
like tells us, but like then Luke has-
Sometimes years in advance.
Yeah.
I will say.
true, but then like the way Luke was talking to Oliver, like I've also talked to so many people like that who pissed me off before. Like, oh, like I'm sorry. Like, are you speaking for her? Like, I've said
And
that
I'm already
before.
like,
You're already done with
I'm
them.
already done.
I've
yeah.
been pretty confrontational myself.
Yeah. It just felt so like I was like, that is something I would say about someone that Brianna's hated for years. Like,
What a freak.
So that's when Oliver deletes the voicemail that Ryan leaves Marissa to say to meet me at the library.
Yes, meet me in the library. I just want to talk. So Oliver deletes it. And then he ends up meeting
Surprise.
Ryan in the library. He's like, I don't remember what he says.
he's like, she said she's gonna get a restraining order against you, and Ryan goes, yeah, what's that like? I thought
Yeah.
it was so good. I was like, honestly, 10 out of 10. The comebacks in this episode were pretty good.
Yeah.
The writers were on fire.
But he's got also a fat lip with just blood streaming down his face that he never wipes up.
Yeah. And then he makes this, somebody's like, oh my God, when they see his like ugly, busted, bleeding lip. And he's like, oh, sorry. I thought it already made the transition from scary to sexy.
Ew.
Yeah. Yikes.
You are not sexy, Oliver.
Really
No.
quick. Yeah, sorry. Gross. But I wanted to flag something about Luke and Seth in this episode. So because Luke says to Seth's like, I don't know, like he's, you know, whatever. And Luke's like, well, I have some friends who go to whatever his old school.
Oh, yeah.
Like that I play water polo with. I can just ask him what Natalie is like. Like I can just ask them about Natalie.
Yeah.
And Seth's response to being like, oh, good call. Because like, of course, he goes, isn't that kind of crazy? Like, what? And then Luke has a good reply. I forget what it was, but no, it's not crazy to ask your friends if they know somebody at
Yeah.
their school. Like,
Right.
he just like truly cannot stand the fact that Ryan is getting attention over him. Like, he hates it.
Well, that's one thing we didn't mention in the previous episode is there's this like new funny guy in school. And that
Oh,
like
yeah.
Seth spends the entire episode like talking about how this guy is like funnier than him. And then he like isn't and it's actually kind of stupid.
It's a dumb storyline, yeah.
It
But
is.
it basically just reminds Seth that Summer is into him.
Exactly.
That's all that storyline was meant for.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like, so this episode, Marissa's been like obviously carted away by Oliver. And so Summer's like, I don't have Marissa. And so
I don't have custody of her right
I
now.
don't have custody of her right now. And so she is like, hey, can I hang out with you guys? And she offers to do something that they like to do. And they're like so annoyed by Summer. And I see how it devolves later, but that's not fucking Summer's fault.
No, she's not the villain here.
She is not the villain in
She's
this.
trying to hang out and socialize.
Right. And she wants to do something that they like to do. And I think, to be fair, like 2 episodes ago, she was obviously like genuinely sabotaging their relationship.
Yeah.
But this episode, it didn't feel that way to me.
No,
No.
she's genuinely like want to hang out.
Trying to be
Like,
nice.
My friend's hanging out with some weirdo. Like, can we hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, let's talk about it, please. So I think that they were really harsh on her. And yeah, that was my feeling about that. But the other note that I made before we get into some of the
truth.
The truth. At this point, Oliver says to Marissa, you know what? You're having a bad day. Let's just blow off school.
Trying to get her away from everybody.
Let's just blow it off. Like, let's just drive to like LA and go to the Ivy and like, let's just blow it off. And it was a very funny parallel to me from when Ryan asks Marissa to blow off school, but she says no to Ryan, if you guys will recall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she says yes to Oliver.
Because Oliver's obsessed and she loves it. And I did write a funny quote. I think she's yelling at Ryan when she says this. She's like, Oliver's the only guy that's not dangerous and scary in my life. And I'm like, girl. What?
The most dangerous and the most scary.
The most.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Oh, God.
Well, also, and we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but this was meant to be like Julie's weekend with Marissa.
Yes.
And so she's like, no, I can't. Like, I got to be with my mom this weekend. And Oliver's like, no, I'll have you home in time or some shit. And while that's going on, Ryan goes to Julie and tells her about Oliver. And they have like, Ryan and Julie have like the best conversations.
Their banter is
off the charts.
And it only gets better.
Yeah, it's off the charts. And because he's like, oh, I don't think you've talked to Marissa in a while. And then he says something and she goes, oh, I don't think you've talked to Marissa in a while.
Yeah. Everyone was on fire these last two episodes. Yeah.
Was on fire. And then the only other thing before things go crazy is I think it's so weird. So Anna's clearly jealous of Summer in this episode.
She's always
more
been
so
jealous
than
of Summer.
usual. But she goes to Daddy Sandy to ask for advice. And I was like, weird, don't do it. And like Sandy notices it this episode, whatever, but I'm like, ew, Anna.
Yeah.
Girl, like have some respect.
Have some self-respect.
Giving desperate.
Even as a teenager, I wouldn't have done such a thing.
So uncomfortable. Can you imagine?
No.
Being like, why doesn't your son want to fuck me?
Oh, because you're not real, Anna.
Could you imagine if I went to and was like, I think he likes somebody else, like, and I'm just like out here like trying to make him like want me, but he doesn't. He'd be like,
oh my God.
oh my God, I don't even know what he would do.
He would probably just melt away.
He could not handle a conversation like that.
No, God, no.
Nor should any adult.
He would just like burst into flames.
Truly. Literally.
From the scene of it all, you know.
Yeah. Or because his wife threw a Molotov cocktail at me and missed. Like, that's another.
Okay. So then things get chaotic.
Truth comes out.
Marissa finds out that Ryan goes to her mom and like freaks out on him, freaks out on everybody. He's like, I'm just gonna go stay with Oliver
in his penthouse alone.
There is no way if I got in a fight with my mom, I would be able to just drive off to a hotel with some guy. Like, no
that they met
fucking
in
way.
therapy for both like almost dying.
I mean, the police would be at the hotel before I got there. Like, there's no way they would have pulled us over. And if they didn't pull us over, it would only be because they were waiting at the hotel.
The village cops were already there.
The village would be on it.
And right around this time, Luke finds out that Natalie's not real, which I was right. Natalie was never real. She didn't go to that school, blah, 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 blah. And Luke finds out, tells Ryan. Ryan's like, he's having big feelings about it. And Luke calls Marissa and tells her away, which I was like, you know what, Luke? This is redemption.
He's a great ex-boyfriend.
That is a good fucking ex-boyfriend.
That's a good thing to do, yeah.
And I think, to be fair,
he did the right thing.
I remember they were talking at some point in like one of the episodes after all the shitty things he did to her, like cheat on her and do all this other shit.
Holly the hoe.
He's like, I really don't know how I could ever make this up. And I'm like, this
Luke,
this
save
is how
her
you make it
life
up to
from
her.
this freak.
Yeah. Believing her,
or
not her, but believing what someone who cares about her is saying.
Yep.
Paying
identifying
attention,
the signs,
letting her know. Yeah, doing recon.
Right.
Like,
like this was
that's
redemption.
how you make up for it.
And then
the truth.
She like argues with him about it, and she's like, "That's just not true," or some shit. And she's like, "The only thing I want you to do for me is like go pick up my clothes from my house."
And instead of being like, "Fine, whatever," he does, because I think he thinks he can like get through to her. Which, like, again, good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
But
so things.
I'm hiding from this.
It like makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, I'm like itchy.
You talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
You talk about
me.
I want you to talk about it.
Oh God. So Luke gets over there, and again, Julie's crashing out and like praise on him. Not yet. There's like a very intimate moment between them. She's talking about like how her life's a mess, and she's like, "Thank you for listening." He's like, "Oh, it's okay."
And
like,
she kisses him on the cheek.
She kisses him, like on the cheek, and it's not like a thanks for stopping by, sweetie. Mwah. No,
it's like
a lingering,
sensual,
super uncomfy,
predatory,
very predatory. Julie is clearly in a bad place.
And
she's taking the Father Kayla breakup.
Not good.
Hard.
Julie.
No, it's not.
And also, girl, why aren't you at that fucking hotel banging that door trying to get your daughter? Come on, Julie. Like, you're better than this, Julie.
Yeah, she should be better than this.
Julie, you're better than this.
She wants to bang something else.
Ew, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't want to.
And that's that. And
wait, are they supposed to be juniors or are they still sophomores?
They're sophomores.
Oh.
Yeah. Ben McKenzie is supposed to be like 15 or 16.
No, they're 16 because they can all drive.
That's right.
Oh, good.
So, because Luke
so
said fine.
I don't want this to happen.
We're done talking about it.
So
You're
wrong.
okay.
It ain't right.
It ain't right.
That's right. Keep it on. I like
Julie,
it.
we're rooting for you. We're all rooting for
Yeah,
you.
we really were.
We were Team Julie.
She's again crashing the fuck out.
Well, yeah, bad. So she's not doing what's best for her daughter in this episode. She's in her care when she does this dumb thing.
She's preying on a little boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's also an adult man, but he's supposed to be 16.
He doesn't look 16.
No, he does not.
I mean, I'd fuck him. If that guy was at our school at 16,
he's a hottie.
yeah, like holy shit, I'd be like, is that a narc?
You're like, that has to be an undercover cop.
That's
Because
how hot-
he's an adult.
That's how hot the officer at our school was.
He was not that hot, but he was up there.
Brianna's like, I have to tell you something.
She's like empathizing with Julie too much. Let's move on. You creep.
Wait. This is Brianna's confession that she's gone to the school as a 30-year-old, as Julie, to find the cop. But he was older than us, so it's fine.
She's like, can you believe the parents are our age?
I have to tell you something.
You're cutting all of
She's like,
this.
speaking of inappropriate ages.
I ain't cutting shit. Blaze ain't listening.
I'm gonna make you cut it. All right. So
She gonna make me. How you gonna make me?
I'm gonna go into the script and fucking cut it myself.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'll make you edit the whole episode. How about that?
She's like, I can't get in now that you're in. Uh-oh. Do it all.
I put it back.
Okay, so Marissa heads down. Or why did she? Okay, so that's what it is. So Oliver, they're at the hotel, and Oliver is like not harassing her, but like being really aggressive with Marissa about where they're gonna go.
Very creepy.
And Marissa's like, I don't want to like run away. I just like kind of wanted a
She's like,
weekend.
I just don't like my mom.
I just want to cause a scene and make everyone uncomfortable. That's what I
I
do.
just need attention.
Look at me.
Let's go to Paris.
Mommy.
Oh, yeah. He's like, you don't need your phone. Let's go to Paris.
Oh, where he can't speak French.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So she can tutor him.
So she gets kind of like uncomfy a little bit, and so she decides to walk away, I think. And she goes down to the lobby to go get her clothes. And she goes down in the lobby, and she's talking to the receptionist at the hotel, who just happens to be named
Not
Natalie. And of course, now that she's heard from Luke that like there was no Natalie at the school, she asks this grown fucking woman who she's like, wait, is your name Natalie Bishop? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, are you a friend of Oliver's? And she's like, yeah, I used to babysit him. So not only is this woman not just some random woman, it's like his former babysitter, which just adds like another layer of
how fucked up he
ickiness
is.
to
Yeah.
it.
Something ain't right about them babysitters in the OC.
Right? He
No.
could have just also these people don't know. Like he could have just picked a name from his high school.
That's what was so weird to me. But like, that's how dark and like depraved he is.
Yeah. As we look at Blaze with 3 sunglasses on.
I don't know what I look like.
You look
I
great.
look perfectly great.
I like it.
Thank
It's
you.
a good look.
I want to hide from all of this.
Yeah.
I don't like any of
honestly.
this.
I know. It's so bad.
So at this point, Marissa has now basically confirmed that Natalie does not exist.
Yes.
And she goes back upstairs to confront him. On what planet
Alone.
would you do that?
Would you go back up to that
I would
room?
never go back up. I don't even care if my phone is there. I don't give a fucking shit.
I am running away.
I am
on
running
foot.
away.
Oh, yeah. She had a chance to walk out the door with her. I think she took her phone, didn't she?
I don't
Who
even-
knows? Who
it doesn't
cares?
even fucking
She had a
matter.
chance to
Phones
walk
weren't
out the
even
door.
a thing back then. Like, who cared about your phone? Like,
That's
they weren't
true.
even attached to their
Well,
hips
I
at
just
that
mean
point.
to say if she was like worried about like, oh, I need to call someone and like
There's
whatever.
a phone in that
But
lobby.
yeah, I mean, there's a phone once you walk outside. Yeah, like
We all knew each other's phone numbers back then by
that's
heart.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. So,
Or
yeah.
she could be like, call the police.
I mean, like walk out that door, keep
Walk
going.
out that door. I was
and she knows Luke is coming. If her clothes weren't at the desk, she could have just waited outside for Luke.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he can't, like, Oliver couldn't cause a scene in front of all those people.
In the lobby, no.
No, or like outside, just like by.
But Marissa decides she's going
like,
to
you know what?
confront him.
Because she cannot make a single good choice in her life.
So she confronts him, and he has another one of his like punching his head fits.
Yeah.
And she immediately comforts him.
Yeah, like, it's okay. He's like, what?
He's like, I don't want you to leave. And she's like, I'm not leaving.
I understand that logic, though. It's like, if someone is being like that and freaking out and you're starting to put the pieces together and you're alone with them, like, even though you went back in the room and put yourself alone with them, like, calming them down is like a
we
way
do that
out.
first, and then we like assess.
No, I
run
agree.
away.
I agree. Like, but at this point, it's like, yeah, you should have been just whatever. She could have done a lot of things
Well, he
differently.
walks out of the
he's
room.
the problem, to be clear.
He walks out of the room, and she had another chance to fucking walk away. But no, what does she do? She calls Ryan.
She could have, and she could have just
God.
grabbed her phone and ran.
Correct.
Or
again.
Ryan, the worst person to call.
Called Ryan from the lobby.
Right. She's like, you know who I should call?
The person he hates most.
Yeah. And is probably going to beat the shit out of him.
Not the person on the way.
Not the person on the way. No. So at this point, Ryan is like rushing to Marissa's, rescue.
Of course.
But he has this really great moment where he actually tells Sandy.
Sandy like makes him tell him.
And
but still.
Sandy makes him tell him. But Sandy's like, I'm going with you. And I was like, oh, finally. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan, you
An adult.
trust.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
An adult, like, and also like you understand you can trust this person, like fully. So they rush to the hotel.
He's Papa now. You can trust me.
With the cops too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so Ryan and Sandy rush to the hotel. While they're rushing to the hotel, Oliver hears Marissa because she wasn't like trying to hide it.
Of course not.
No, because
Of course not.
Again, like
She has no survival skills. Not
None.
one. Not one.
she literally was out the door and went back in. Which again, like Ryan, Oliver's the problem here. Blah blah blah. We all know this, but like, girl, like for your own self-preservation, like please.
Right. I mean, I would have never been in a hotel room alone with that man in the first
No,
place.
me neither.
No matter what age I was.
No, even as a teen, I wouldn't have been alone with that guy.
No.
Also, because I had parents who would have prevented me from doing that also, but like of my own volition, like very doubtful.
Yeah. So he pulls a gun and he's like, why would you do that? Why would you call him? Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, he just
And
loses
starts
it.
freaking out. And at some point, I don't know, they're going back and forth. She's like, put it down. We'll always be friends. He's like, friends? He doesn't say this, but basically like, you idiot, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I've been in love with you the whole time, you dummy. And I'm like, yeah, Marissa, even Oliver thinks you're stupid for not noticing.
Yeah, seriously.
That's right.
To make one quick point,
Yeah.
though, not in defense of Oliver.
You're like, but
No.
we didn't even hear his side.
No. But one of the things that
She was leading him on.
No, but from a domestic violence perspective, he states at this point in the episode that he's intending to turn the gun on himself.
That's still violence.
I absolutely, which is still abuse.
Yeah,
right?
very much
Still
so.
abuse.
So Kate dated a Ryan type, and I dated
Yeah.
the Oliver type, and
Literally.
we joked that these two could never meet because it would either go incredibly well or insanely bad.
We knew in our hearts it was the latter.
Yeah.
And they never met, and you know what? It's
That was for the
okay.
best.
It was for the best. We kept them
It's
apart.
okay. Yeah.
Were they at the same time?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why we were like kind of like.
I never put that together.
I started like seeing him again, kind of like when we were living together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And our other friend was like, I don't think this is a good idea. And I was like, shut up. And like, unfortunately, she was right. But like, he's not an Oliver, to be clear. Like, good guy. We just like, we're not right for each other. But like,
No, mine was the Oliver.
yes, he was Oliver. Yes.
Yours was Ryan.
No, I just want to clarify. Yeah, he also was not exhibiting Oliver-like behavior. There was just one. And it was.
Yeah. Mine.
She's like,
The
not
menace.
me.
Yep.
Okay, so Ryan and Sandy get to the hotel and also run into Natalie, which is, Ryan's like,
Ryan puts it all together.
yeah,
Like,
of course. And
she's like, Oliver has so many friends all of a sudden. Like,
Natalie.
Come on up.
so they all go up to the penthouse and they bring 2 security guards. But what's interesting to me is, so they knock on the door and Oliver's like, shut up, don't say anything. And
He's
then Natalie,
holding Marissa hostage at this point.
and Natalie's like, I'm coming in. And he's like, no, I'm just getting in the shower. And nobody says, no, there's somebody else in there and that's who we're worried about. Because even Sandy's like, all right, like everything sounds fine. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Sandy.
Where's Marissa? Like you came here. You didn't come here because you're worried about fucking Oliver.
Literally. Yeah. Why aren't any of them like, Oliver, like we need to, like we're here for Marissa. She needs to come out.
We need to know she's
her mom's
okay.
looking for her.
Yeah.
Like
anything about Marissa. Nothing is said about Marissa. And then Marissa's like, Ryan.
Yeah. She yells, Ryan, he's got a gun.
He's got a gun. Right. So then they, of course, come in. There's a standoff with these security guards in the red ties, which is just very funny.
Yeah. That was okay.
Yeah. And Sandy.
Ryan is the lead negotiator.
Correct. Yeah.
Like,
Sandy starts, but Ryan like finishes with Sandy looking on him proudly. I'm like, again, this is not a situation for a teen. Why is Ryan the one talking this guy out of a gun?
Like you
Out of all these adults, Ryan.
You'd be like, Ryan, like stay in the lobby, like call the police, like wait for the police to get here and like whatever, like anything but like
anything
bring
but what's
the
happening.
boy, like
Right.
yeah, like come on.
Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. You're welcome.
I mean, literally. And so Oliver puts down the gun and Marissa's like, you were right. I'm so sorry. Like, fucking.
It's like, I know I was.
Yeah,
You fucking
everybody
idiot.
was right,
Luke
Marissa.
like pulls up with the clothes. He's like, hey, is Marissa here?
After awkwardly touching her mother.
He's like, oh, Natalie? I know Natalie.
You know, Luke did more than a lot of people in this fucking
Yeah,
show
that's true.
in terms of this.
Yeah. The episode ends with Seth and Anna breaking up.
Finally.
Finally, because
Put out of our misery.
Because Anna's like, she doesn't really explicitly say Summer, but it's like, you could just say Summer, Anna.
Yeah. Well, and she like, because Seth is like, I'm going to call Summer and tell her Marissa's okay. And she's like,
Yes.
she doesn't know Marissa's not okay.
Which I thought, again, like, you know, Seth is Seth, but like, that was a very reasonable thing. Like, he knows that Summer is Marissa's best friend. And like, he wants to tell her that like,
Exactly.
this big thing fucking happened.
Right. Like, Anna has no heart. Like,
None.
Neither does Seth. Her twin.
True. Yeah. Again, wow. It's almost like his
They're the
mind
same.
made her up.
Interesting.
And then she just disappears forever.
Like, I get where
most
Anna is
part.
like a little, you know, you're always hanging out with Summer. And it's like, to be fair, he's not hanging out with her alone. You're always there.
Yeah.
And you haven't yet to
I
say
mean-
anything to Seth.
Yeah. And like, again, is
Just
it cool? No. But like, yeah, crying to his dad. And so like, yeah, like it's gross. But again, she can't really talk to people because she's not real.
And Seth does apologize to Ryan.
It's about time.
Yeah, about not
It was a good
believing him.
apology.
Yeah, it was a good apology. And, you know, hopefully this is Seth's redemption arc.
We love vindication. I'm happy for Ryan in this episode. He was
Yeah.
Uh,
vindicated.
Yeah.
Quite indeed.
That's
Justice was served for Mr. Atwood.
That's right.
What an episode.
What
An episode. So much happened in this episode.
It did.
All right. So that's it for our OC recap. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're doing tonight, ladies. So we're obviously watching the next episodes because I have to see if Ryan makes it
If
back
Ryan
to
makes
school.
it back to Harbor.
Does Ryan get back into Harbor? I'll never know. What are we snacking on this evening?
Oh,
Popcorn?
yeah, pop. I want like
No cheese.
a smoothie.
I kind of want McDonald's.
Again,
Oh
Blaze?
no, I'm putting my foot down.
Fine. What did you bring, Brianna?
I ate before I came.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
We'll
Only
figure
because-
something out.
Yeah, only because I had I didn't eat lunch today. I skipped lunch, so I was just like I was doing other things, and all of a sudden I was like, shit, I gotta eat.
Oh, I want sushi.
How the hell are we going to get sushi at this hour?
There's a lot of places open. It's not.
What about that place we ordered from last time, that Chinese restaurant?
Oh, Tokyo Sushi they're open late and they're really good. They have good sushi and good like rice bowls.
Okay.
Do we have to drive?
Yeah, but it's like right there. Like we could walk, but I know you don't want to.
We know you can't.
We were always going to let you be the passenger.
That's
princess.
right.
And
Officer
us
said I cannot drive.
pioneering your carriage. Think of us as your trusty steeds, my
You
lady.
know I'll be blind and deaf sometimes.
You don't even have to concern yourself with such matters.
Jasper,
a pretty woman
I
like
cannot be
you.
seen.
All right,
No,
take us away.
not
Where
at
can
this
they
hour.
find us?
What if I'm not finished?
There's always more to say, don't you find, Lady Blaze?
She's trying to rush me on my tasks.
Oh, that
ain't
is.
right.
I do not find that to be very gentle, womanly behavior now.
Officer is officering. Sheriff bitch.
If you are. It kind of works, honestly, with the rest of the stuff.
About me?
Officer
No,
Biatch.
about the people with signs that love and respect their police department.
Sheriff.
Love and respected, Officer Biatch. With love and respect. Officer Bitch.
Officer bitch. Oi, oi, oi.
Wow, what a character.
Yeah.
On that note, you can find us. That's our show, just kidding. But you can find us at Something Feral FTN on Instagram, Something Feral Pod on Gmail and the TikTok, at Gmail and the TikTok, and the YouTube and the Spotify. Watch us both there because we're beautiful women. I will say it every time in this accent that I'm stuck in.
You are a woman of the world, but you are also my world.
They call me unique. I don't know why.
My question is, if you're Jasper, then who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are
Lady
you?
I'm Anna
Blaze.
Jasper.
This is Lady Blaze, the lady of the house.
You know, I'm Anna. I'm fake Jasper that you talk to yourself.
Miss Anna now.
It's just you talking to yourself.
Jasper wandering around, brain and body
Shit-faced.
rotten from all the bourbon, just poisoned, hallucinating, talking to Lady Anna. His house is like crumbling. The Civil War is over. It's just like a shell of a home. Burned
You're
to
really
the
painting a
ground.
picture here.
Burned to the fucking ground.
Here comes Lady Anna. Oh, hello, my darling. Nice to see you again. Things are rough here.
Oh boy.
Things have not been going according to plan.
Except for your presence.
Got like an infected wound.
I'll fix that. No, I won't.
Could you do me the trouble? I do recall you being a nurse in the war.
You know Lady Anna knows how to sew up a wound.
Oh, if you need to saw it off, I can take it.
I'll do that too, and I'll like that, but I won't say it to your face.
Whatever the good lady needs.
I'm dressed like this too, always.
He's like, is that Detroit not a part of the cursed Union?
You know it's too far north in that cursed land.
I could not stomach such a trip.
It's unholy up there.
It ain't right.
Ain't right, bitch.
Falls through the floor.
Anna's dead.
His death is the Confederacy.
Oh yeah! Can I get a oh yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No Confederates here. Anyway, that's our show. I already said that part. Off to get feral. See you next week.
we haven't already.